Hello everyone and welcome back to the RSE EU Season 8 Prospect Play-ins. We've had 4 wonderful matches, one of them tonight in the semi-finals of these play-ins, but we're now moving into the big stages of this round where it will be the finals to get into those playoffs. And first up will be Bing versus Tartarus. It's an all-Glacies matchup, and with me for it is Marbs. How are you doing tonight?
Doing absolutely great, 5 out of 10. I'm so happy to be back in the casting booth. It's been so long, and especially in the play-ins. This is prospect play-ins. Unfortunately, we don't get to see Ignite play today. My favorite team. They're already qualified. But this is this game where we have Tartarus versus Bing. The winner here goes to playoffs, and that's probably the most pressure both these teams have ever felt this whole entire season. All comes down to this lovely best of 5.
Yeah, and of course, the best of 5. Where normally in RSC we have that set of 4 games, so change of format, change of nerves, change of pressure, it's all going on in the play. And both these teams, of course, have already won their match against their Ignis competition, with Bing beating Orbit 3-1 and Tartarus beating Terra 3-1, so they've had the same scoreline. But in the team stats, you will see that the Tartarus do come in with the better league play record, having 6 more wins and surprisingly a few less goals for, but less goals against as well. So maybe Bing are hoping that they can be the one to outscore Tartarus tonight.
Absolutely. If I'm going to put on my prediction, allow me to put on my prediction here. I would love to go for Tartarus, in my opinion. Tartarus are especially any one of Senji's teams, seeing them in playoffs is quite rare, you can say. But I do believe this team composed of Banana Pills and Maurice really wants to have this win as well. If we know him, last season he lost in those, believe the grand finals against who else but Kindling. But regardless, he's going to be in. He's going in for his next chance at playoff glory, and this series decides if he's going to be able to get that chance to continue forth on that journey or not, and that's going to be a really interesting thing to see.
Yeah, none of Senji's teams have ever won a single match in the playoffs, so Tartarus will be hoping that they will be the first ones to do it, as Prospect are first up. But into the player stats, and we will see just who from this team are willing to try and do it. Maurice is there with the most games, but they brought him in from Cardinals on the other side of the tier. And now I think they've gone with the other 3, and Banana Peels has stepped up and said that he thinks he can do a good job with Sneaking Shoe and Archangel, so those will be the main 3. But on the other side, it's quite an interesting matchup of Endrick and Sabinex, because they were on the same team last season, and I think it was Gamma, and they finished bottom of the conference. But Marbs, they've been a lot stronger this season, haven't they?
Absolutely, yeah, it's just all internet exposed at the moment. They have really been tough. A lot of tough rosters throughout the tiers, but definitely Prospect being where they are a bit of a problem for Tartarus if they want to continue here. But I'm all for seeing what's going to happen, because I know these two teams, they met in league play, and I'm not sure if we have those results, but would have been really good to know. I might be looking at them later, but I would just like to say I'm ready to go into this by Manatone. I don't know if you are.
Yeah, I'm ready as well. I think Archeon on the RScast did point out that Tartarus edge at 5-3 on those 2 series that they played in league play, so that's why he chose Tartarus in the end, because he was really struggling to differentiate them as well and pick a winner, because he predicted them both to get here. But I went with Bing to get 3, so I'll stick to my RScast guns and say Bing will take it. I think it's going to be really close, so I will say it's going to go to Game 5, a Game 5 which we're yet to see in the play-ins, but I think this could be the first one.
I guess so. I guess I still have to root for the one and only Banana Pills GG, who won it last season, but he won it on the bench. But I believe I think he's the main player now. We see him in the lobby here, and I cannot wait to see how he does, and if he's been improved at all, or if he's just been the same old Banana as you know from last season.
It'll be interesting to see. And have you told him to go here, Marbs? Or what are we waiting on?
I'm not sure. We do have enough people on the lobby to start a matchup, so I've given them the go-ahead. I wonder if they listen. They might. They're definitely.
It would be good if they listened.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. We will get into this one. Maybe a couple minutes late, but we still get there in the end. It's still going to be an absolutely massive matchup. And here we go with game number 1, Bing versus Tartarus, fighting to keep their season alive and get into the lower bracket of the play-ins. Tartarus will start it off slightly better as Archangel launches it forward, with Sabinex already trying to take control in the corner. And Marbs, you really feel like this one could be a really, really cagey start.
Absolutely, I'm already seeing some really nice aerial prowess. I'm not used to seeing this kind of stuff in Prospect, in my opinion. But this already shows how high like the echelon's been. These teams, I genuinely think that if these two teams were playing last season, they would have already been the two top contenders. But for these two teams to be competing in play-ins, knowing that there's already teams in playoffs that are relatively better, never mind. But Crafty Mouse does get this. These are, I definitely want to say that these teams, I guess I would like to call them challenger from last season. They are really good in setting up plays, as well as Crafty Mouse does get it. Unfortunately, Archangel not able to get the full-on save. And we have in the first, a bit over 30 seconds into the game, we do have a 1-0 lead for Bing. Tartarus do not want that to continue. Crafty Mouse almost scoring an own goal as well. But by man 10, it's not look good for my prediction so far. But we give Tartarus some time, and they can definitely turn things around.
Yeah, we're not even a minute into this matchup just yet, so plenty of time to get the scoreline back in their favour. And, you know, the first 30 seconds were pretty back and forth. It's not as if Bing were building towards that. It would happen pretty quickly after they had to get a save of their own. So it's an open first minute of the matchup, but as you say, Bing do come away the favoured ones from that. Almost looking at a second, but that one will not be going very fast, and Sneaking Shoe comfortably brings it forward. But good positioning from Sabine X Hair puts Tartarus under more pressure. Now Crafty Mouse picks it up. It's dropping in the middle for Endrick. It's on target, but Sneaking Shoe as well to track back and get that one off to the corner.
The game is a bit, I think, chances are being made of Crafty Mouse as well. To be honest, since the beginning of the season, I've followed him come mighty. I know he's a very capable player. I'd love to see him bring out some more stuff that he can show. He's already scored a goal, to be honest, and he might be the standout player, in my opinion. For Bing, so far, I'm not sure if you might have a disagree. I think you know a bit more about Prospect than me so far. However, I also know that Tartarus do have quite good players as well. I think would like to call it quite an even matchup at the moment, even though Bing do look like they have pressure on Crafty Mouse, doing a lot of things, that whatever she can, to be honest, try to get some attacks and to get some offensive pressure, but has not really amounted to anything else besides that very initial goal. We have Sneaky Shoe going for a flip reset. Oh, wow. Those things can happen in Prospect. I've just remembered that. This is RC and everyone here is absolutely cracked.
And it almost does lead to the equalizer for Tartarus, as Archangel was waiting to pick it up in the middle. He was getting the Player of the Week for Prospect a couple of weeks ago, so they've certainly got quality, but it's not been a very good start for them in this game number one, because they do find themselves 2-0 down. It's Crafty Mouse again, the one getting the goals, and Tartarus defense struggling there. They should have had more people back ready to defend that, but they just weren't ready for how quick Crafty Mouse could be on that halfway line.
The Crafty Mouse always in the right place at the right time, what I noticed, and I think that's a very valuable asset for Bing. He might not be the most mechanical, I guess, but he's always been in a great position, and it's really been helping Bing gets it 2-1. It's now halftime, a bit less than halftime, it's just passed, and there's a lot of balls that are in the air. People are just waiting, maybe a couple of misses from Archangel here. This might be a goal unless Sneaking Shoe can say anything about it. He can go for a save, he goes for another hit as well. Brings Tartarus onto the attack. Banana Pills GG is just a bit too far up to get some sort of pass, and Archangel misses it, and Crafty Mouse, again, Crafty Mouse, as I said at the beginning, he's always in the right place at the right time. No matter whatever ball he touches, it just magically goes in. Archangel, unfortunately, a bit off of his defensive lines, allowing a 3-0 lead for Bing. Not looking the best for Tartarus. My prediction might be a bit faulted here, might have just got karma'd a little bit, or it might be just be you know, messing the game behind the scenes, but I do not really expect Crafty Mouse to have such a sort of impact on this game, and he does get a really crucial save as well. Man and 10, Crafty Mouse is the one on fire. I can not stop saying his name, almost going for a solo play. This guy's a madman.
Yeah, maybe this was to be expected. We didn't examine the stats very closely, but if we had, we would have seen that Crafty Mouse not only has the top goals of any of these 6 players coming in from league play, but also the top saves, so he's certainly been doing it all for being that carry player, maybe. So Endrick and Sabinex have certainly got a quality player on their team, and he's certainly proving that in this first 3.5 minutes, as it's looking like an unassailable lead here. Tartarus, yes, they've had chances, they've had a couple of good saves, especially from Sneaking Shoe. He's looked pretty good in the defense, but overall they have been outclassed, and they'll probably need to get a little bit of a reset into game number 2. You know, you lose game number 2 and reverse sweeps are so hard to pull off, so they really need to get their heads back in the game for the next one. And, you know, I'm not quite sure what they need to do. Marv, you got any answers for them, maybe?
Not sure. Maybe I think Banana Pills GG can give a lesson and tell everyone how wonderful Kindling played in that season before, as he was on that team, and he has the experience. He's, I think, one of the ones here that actually won it all. He's the one in this lobby that has a trophy next to his name, but I think he wants to win it for real as the main roster player. It might be we might see some card changes. I'm not sure, but this might be a chance for Archangel. Unfortunately, not able to put that one away. Might have been still in the match here, but at the moment, it just looks like a bit of a downward spiral for Tartarus, as I'm not able to get anything out of it. It's by amount of time. I would like to say that this game has been really, really interesting, in my opinion. Archangel actually going for a shot, and he does get it. He does get it, and it might be some sort of hope. 21 seconds left is enough to do it, but about how the way Bing have been playing, unless they completely crumble apart, it might not be possible to make that sort of comeback in the time given.
Yeah, you have to feel that one's come a bit late. You wanted Archangel to step up a bit earlier than this because he has had shots onto the post and, you know, forays into the final third where he just couldn't find the finishing touch. So he finally gets it here, but with 15 seconds left, it's going to be very tough for Tartarus. Can Banana Peels make anything of this? It's dropping in the middle for Sneaking Shoe to attack, but it's a roller onto the ground off target, and Endrick plenty of time and space to pick it up. Sabinex well positioned here, rolls more time off the clock, and Archangel will get one back again with only 1 second on the clock. It's going to be almost impossible for them to equalize, but once again they leave the glimmer of hope.
Absolutely, it's I don't want to say they can't do it. I also don't want to say they can, but 1 second left. You know, it's not over till the ball touches the ground, and it might touch the ground right here, unless Cracky Mouse wants to keep it up. He does keep it up.
No way. Oh,
never mind. You know, too good to be true. We might be saving those 0-second goals for the game 5, but not today, not now, to say the least.
Yeah, Tartarus certainly get themselves back into it after we'd been talking about how this game was maybe a write-off for them, so they make Bing maybe think about how they've been playing. They were comfortable there, maybe getting a little bit complacent. Obviously they did get the clock down low enough that in the end it didn't matter, so you've got to maybe respect the game control for that. They just step it off when it doesn't matter so much, but you also have to be looking at the other two teams.
Yeah, game 2 of this wonderful best of 5. Hopefully we can go all the way to that game 5. That's only if Tartarus decides to step up and maybe score a bit earlier.
Yeah, they need a much better start. Can't be scoring with only 20 seconds left, because more often than not that's not going to be early enough in, and they will start it off with the early possession, but Sneaking Shoe instantly cut out by Endrick, and they're having to defend in their own half now despite having the possession. The double commit will come out, and the triple commit from Bing. Endrick racing back here to stop Banana Peels, and Banana Peels will run out of boost. You need that. Bing would have time to recollect, but that's a slightly worrying sign, you have to admit, from Bing. If they're willing to throw all three players so far high up the pitch that Tartarus can counter, maybe there they just didn't quite have the speed, but the next time they could certainly be faster and make the most of those counter opportunities.
Absolutely. You do have some passing play coming out. Sneaking Shoe mind to go for a read. He does get it in the bottom right corner. Sneaking Shoe being, I believe, let's say the aerial carry for the side of Tartarus. You cannot even explain that prospect. That's definitely a challenger. I probably will struggle, probably you as well, but maybe you can do that a bit better than me, but that requires a lot of effort and precision to be able to aerial that early to get it into the back of the net, especially that placement in the bottom right corner where it was unsavable for the side of blue. It does give Tartarus a lot of hope. That's hope they can get it. Maybe Sneaking Shoe able to get a counterattack. Can Sabinex get it? No, she cannot. And Sneaking Shoe comes out with another one. Tartarus will be absolutely hyped to be able to have this lead in the first minute.
Yeah, if you're not finding a single lead in the first game, now the first lead of game number 2, it will be going 2-0 up within the first minute. So Sneaking Shoe really stepping up. He was that man going for the flip reset in the last game, so he's certainly got ambition in the air, and last game he couldn't find the finished product for that, but now he can, and it's looking much better for Tartarus. They're really making Bing pay for what few mistakes they have been making, and again they're struggling to leave people back post. Banana Peels aware of that, waiting to lurk in at that back post, and just shot it home for the 3-0 lead.
It makes me smile seeing a Banana Peel score. I love that he's able to get a shot. He does deserve to be a main prospect player. He's got the experience as being on the bench, but now he wants to show everyone that he's not just a sub. He is a first team player, and he's definitely showing that here, helping Tartarus extend their lead to a 3-goal lead. But there is a lot of time, and Endrick and his mates will not let that slide to the best of their ability. But that might be a bit too difficult, as they had a double commit there for a bit of a save. Crafty must be able to get that epic save there. And Tartarus do have offensive pressure. There has been a demo. Banana Peels GG doing a lot to try to keep that offensive pressure. Sneaking Shoe getting the ball over one, getting the ball over to another one. Can he get it off the wall? He gets bumped by Sabine, not letting Sneaking Shoe able to get a pass. Archangel not able to do anything either. And we have a centered ball. Sneaking Shoe get the angle. He does get it back to the center. Sabinex is able to get the clear. Archangel goes up in the air trying to go for a stealing pass. Leaves it down. GG is floating his BMW car across the field. He cannot get it into the center, but the ball's all been on the Bing's half, and Bing definitely do not prefer to have that ball in their half. They prefer to have that ball as far away from their net as possible, and possibly into Tartarus' net. But that's not been the case. Archangel non-stop pressure. This is a complete antithesis of the first game that we saw from Manhattan. This is absolutely all. The game is all for Tartarus at the moment.
Yeah, I'm amazed that Tartarus haven't got a fourth. I mean, Bing are very lucky to have been defending like this after it seems like a lot of chaos has been coming out, but they managed to keep scraping back the players and relying on Tartarus to miss, because again, Sneaking Shoe finds the crossbar with this shot, and that's not where he wants it. The Bing counterattack is on. They're looking for the response to try and get back into this one, but Sneaking Shoe, after hitting the crossbar, makes sure to get back and get that save, and that's really impressive to see from Tartarus. It's so easy to switch off at the back when you've been having so much offensive pressure, but that's not the sort of side they are. They get the one save they need, they go straight back up the other end, and Marbs, they get a fourth.
Archangel, some may say this is the Archeon's kid in disguise. However, we're not going to make any assumptions here, because this man is absolutely cracked. He is... All players in Tartarus, in my opinion, have been completely crucial. They're all playing different parts as well. You have Banana Pills going in for demos. You have Sneaking Shoe being the ones that are able to make plays in the air. Then we also have Archangel here who's able to set up plays and shoot and get most of his shots on target. And it just shows that how functional Tartarus is. And it's a very interesting thing to see, because you wouldn't really expect them to be Senji's team, no offense, but they're so functional, and I definitely think that they're going to be taking this game, even though there's 90 seconds left. Bing are probably, their confidence probably got slapped out of them from all their confidence in game one. Has absolutely been evaporated by Tartarus. I'm not sure if I can go to the lore, but is Tartarus you probably know about this, but Tartarus like the god of fire? Am I absolutely wrong? Please educate me.
I'm not familiar with my satanic history as much as Senji is with his Might of Hades franchise, but I'm sure they'll be plenty happy with whatever they're the god of, because they certainly seem to be the god of the Rocket League pitch at the moment. They can't stop scoring. They've had all the pressure, as we keep saying, and they have not been able to find a way back into it. Tartarus in the last game, they were down 3-0 and they managed to make it interesting. I'm not sure that's going to be the case here, because Bing really haven't offered very much. Yes, they have 4 shots, but Tartarus have looked very capable to deal with all of them and just go straight back under that other half and just get the ball back flowing their way, because the defensive solidity from Bing has been pretty non-existent. Yes, they were getting saves, 2 from Crafty Mouse, and they were getting men back, but a lot of the time they were relying on Tartarus to just be hitting the woodwork or clean miss the net. And you feel like if 4 is maybe a low number for this, it could have been a lot more for Tartarus, because there was quite the passage of play where they just couldn't find the net, and yet the scoreline is still this dominant.
Absolutely, and it's I guess you could say the duality. You have Bing having a game that they're on and the game that they're off, and we have Tartarus having a game that they're off and the game that they're on. That just shows how varied this series is, which is absolutely insane. You can have it going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, maybe up to a game 5. But at the moment, we just have to see which team wants it more. And looking at the stats at the moment, Archangel getting a goal, but I think the player that we're all looking at here is Sneaking Shoe with 636 points. I think that's more than all of Bing's side combined, which is a very crazy thing, in my opinion. With 4 shots, 2 goals, 1 assist, and 2 saves, he's doing everything. Can pop off extremely well. It just depends who's gonna do that first, who's gonna do that before the other team, and who's gonna shut down the other team first. Because it could really be anyone's, but we've seen both teams dominate the other. And we have Archangel shot going in first. Tartarus taking the first attacking play. Being saved by Bing. I think Bing might be a bit more slow at the moment. Yeah, I see probably thanks to Bing staying a bit more back. Unfortunately, it whips that one. Hendrik has to do his best to kill it out. Does get a nice pinch. And is waiting to go for a center. He hits the ball, hits it into the middle. Archangel's there to clear it, passes it up to Sneaking Shoe. What's Sneaking Shoe gonna do? We always expect him to do something really nice with this area. This does get a really nice center. Unfortunately, Archangel not able to get that angle. Nanopills does get a shot, misses, and then returns back to his defensive area where he normally is. And Archangel takes this one, and he's so clinical with his shots. This might be the reincarnation of Archeon in my opinion, because they're both super clinical with their shots and lack a bit in mechanics, no offense, but I see a lot of similarities.
Yeah, and really I'm looking to Bing again there. I was just about to compliment their defense on the very first play. Sabine saw both her teammates double commit and had the knowledge to stay back and get the save, but they were defending pretty solidly since then until that last shot came in. Endrick panics on the post and just opens up the angle for Archangel where maybe his Crafty Mouse was better to deal with it, or he could have just let it roll up the post and it might have been okay. So you really want to see their defense get back up to scratch, because it's not that sort of play isn't going to be able to keep out Tartarus when we see how confident they are coming forward. Players like Sneaking Shoe and Archangel just running away with it, but fair play to Bing. They come back into it. Crafty Mouse just steals it away from Sneaking Shoe. Banana Peels did not see that one coming at all, because he's left to go clean open for Crafty Mouse to snipe it into.
Banana Peels, I don't think he's learned enough. He might still need a bit more. He might need a bit more training before he becomes one of the best prospect players, top prospect players. But he's got to show himself now, man. He's really been doing really well. He does get a shot, unfortunately. Crafty Mouse. The ball is completely black across the line. I think 1 pixel away from being scored and like goal explosion going off, but Crafty Mouse decided not today. He's going to do whatever he can to help Bing get out of this little slump they've been in, and so far he has been doing it, being the one to score, I guess, considered the carry, always being assisted by his teammates, but he did score a solo goal in my opinion, or as soon as I would like to call that a solo goal that he scored earlier. However, Crafty Mouse just dunking, attacking, putting full on pressure on Tartarus. That's probably the way to break them, getting out of that dungeon, as you say. But Sneaking Shoe, unfortunately, usually Sabinx is want to be the demoer, but I think that person is going to be the demo E.
This is much better looking from Bing ever since that last-ditch effort save from Crafty Mouse. They've been looking more confident, they've had more opportunities going forward, and they're looking so solid on the goal line again. They have to get it clear from a rasping Tartarus shot, but Sabinx this time the one to get it away, and 5 saves between Sabinx and Crafty Mouse. They're looking a lot better. They just need to get the final goal going forward, but unfortunately will fall apart again because Sneaking Shoe just always seems to have that key to unlock this defense. None of them know what he's going to do. He's so unpredictable for the thing to expect, and again, Endrick caught out. He's just so hard to play against Sneaking Shoe.
Yeah, I still have the aerial, such a graceful aeriality, aerial ability, aerial prowess, whatever you like to call it. But that's something. It's a big gift he's been able to give and provide for Tartarus. Some aerial masterminds plays. Crafty Mouse trying to do something of his own. Unfortunately, not able to get the ball clear. It still stays in their half, and Archangel's up. He might go for another shot. He does not get a shot. Or go Sneaking Shoe. Almost goes in for an amazing dunk. This person, whenever I see him about to in the air, Bing probably get a bit scared. They might start getting a bit more panicky, which is a really good thing to see. Sneaking Shoe trying to go for aerial fake off Sabinx. Sabinx is not buying it, allowing Crafty Mouse to get this one into the center up in the air for Endrick. Can he get a touch? He does get it up into the ground. Archangel's there to give a really valuable clear for Tartarus, always making the most valuable plays, shots, goals, very simple-minded, but very good passer as well, as Banana Peels GG is the one to score. Very happy to see him on the scoreboard with this tag of Elite Challenger. That's a bit interesting. I like to see how there's no prospect Elite, but anyways, I absolutely believe that Tartarus are going to be feeling quite confident going into the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the momentum is swinging in their favor at the moment. This one might be pulling one back from Sabinx, but again, Tartarus will hold strong and get it clear, and he's just pushing forward with everything they have. Banana Peel's now looking for the ambitious play. Will come off the post. It's Archangel there, yes. Will come off the crossbar. Sneaking Shoe is there. Somehow he misses it. A very rare sight that we've seen so far. Maybe that is the moment where it turns around for Bing if they can get going again, but Banana Peel says nope. Just picks it up off the halfway line and gets the ball rolling for Tartarus once more. They're never a team to back off. They just keep on attacking, and every setback they've faced from Bing, they've launched themselves back at the game, back at the series, and they've certainly been getting rewarded for it because Bing just don't look like they're ready to play up to this level. It feels like the game pace is being set by Tartarus. Bing are the ones that are having to react, and it's really showing because Tartarus are looking to go into a 2-1 lead in the series.
I would love to see Senji's team in the final playoffs. However, they still, after they win this game, if they even do, there's 15 seconds left, I would like to say the way Bing are playing, they're not going to be able to orchestrate a comeback, but I don't want to say that. Yes, Banana Peels gets demo. Off the bows, on the line, Endrick gets it in. Okay, sure, Caster Curse, I want Endrick, but I don't think you're going to get another goal in 7 seconds. I 100% don't believe I'm going to get jinxed here.
It's very unlikely that you will, but Bing are definitely hoping that they can do it. 7 seconds left here to equalize in this game. Number 3, Sabinex on the kickoff, does win it. They're pushing forward. Crafty Mouse looking to whip it in the middle. It's dropping down. Sneaking Sure is the man there. Can Sabinex pick it up? No, she whiffs the ball entirely. And Tartarus will close it out eventually. So they go into game number 4 knowing they are a single game off of going into the lower bracket of the playoffs. So now, once again, we need to see Bing react. This game was better than game number 2. They improved. Their defense looked stronger. They had more goals, but it still wasn't enough. And you have to say that's credit to Tartarus. They have been outplaying Bing in seemingly every play. So you really feel it is Bing's duty here to step up, get the comms going more, make sure they're all knowing what each other has to do, because Tartarus will be all so willing to just destroy them in game number 4 here. So we have to see Bing try and do something about that.
I think it's an absolute war between Crafty Mouse and Sneaking Shoe on both sides. Really insane to see as we go in. The countdown is starting, and I do not think Tartarus, they do have the upper hand, but is their confidence there? We're going to see if they're able to, shut this one out, or would they allow Bing to make some sort of really interesting comeback, which I'd love to see. We all want to see game 5, but Tartarus probably don't want to. And we have Archangel going in, scoring that goal, scoring quite early as well. Always with Archangel, super straight shot, very simple, but so valuable and so clinical with his shooting as well. That straight line shots, that's a very hard, especially for me. Those kinds of shots are really difficult to keep your cool, and Archangel is probably one of the coolest ones out here.
Yeah, and you have to remember, looking at players like Archangel and Sneaking Tree, these players are RSC rookies. This is the first time they're coming in to play a season, never mind playing the play-in, so the nerves just keep racking higher the closer you get to that qualifying position. But in this final game where they need to win it, they're looking like they're going to do it. They've not slowed down at all. As you say, the clinicality from Archangel is well and truly still with us. So they're just proving their worth every step of the way. And now it's Sneaking Shoes turn on the defensive side as Endrick will give it what a save, because that was a good effort from Endrick. But Tartarus are just too quick to react to it. Endrick will push it forward again, but it will not trouble Tartarus, and you really feel like the control of the game is all in Tartarus' favour now, because Bing just cannot break them down time and time again. Tartarus just get the ball out of their own half, and their offense never looks like it's going to be an easy save for Bing.
Absolutely not, but Tartarus, they do have the lead. Trying to get a good clear. Crafty Mouse gets the touches, takes his time, hits it up in the air. There's no one for the Bing side to go take that one. Endrick is up. He does get a touch, quite good aerial control by him. But Sabinex goes up, unable to get a good clear, waiting for a clearance. This is not the best situation for Bing as Archangel takes a straight shot. Sabinex is there to save it. Nipel's taking a very long aerial, wasted quite a bit of boost, but able to get a touch. Sneaking Shoe pushes that one forward. It's all up to Archangel to get the shot, but Sabinex does get the clear first. Good speed, but Endrick is now up in the air. Fakes? I would like to call that a fake.
Beautiful from Endrick. Really well placed from Sabinex up the right-hand side here, having to place the third person in defense. But Endrick then takes it all by himself. Fakes out Sneaking Shoe, I think, indeed, and gets the dunk on them. Really, really confident stuff from Endrick there. If you're playing down a game in the series and down a goal in this, last chance game, it's really easy to let those chances go askew, but not for Endrick. He has the confidence to fake out a player entirely, and now they're looking like they want another one. Crafty Mouse goes in the middle, but Tartarus this time defend it. Sabinex is beaten. Endrick isn't. Picks it up in the midfield, but is met by Sneaking Shoe instead. Crafty Mouse is going to have to do well here, and he does so. Allows Sabinex and Endrick time to get back, but Endrick is pushed up a bit too far. Maybe does eventually decide to come back and gets the save off of Banana Peels. Now trying to go up the right-hand side. Sneaking Shoe's touch. Not good enough. Endrick pushes it forward. Archangel taking it slow now, slows the tempo right down, allows the teammates time to get back. Sabinix almost with the outrageous dunk, but now Crafty Mouse has to get back to save it, he will! Banana Peels' shot will not find the back of the net.
That's a common occurrence in my opinion. Banana Peels always a bit too off, where it gets a bit unlucky with like quick saves from the other sides. Has been getting a couple goals, but it's always Sneaking Shoe or Archangel, and this time it's been Sneaking Shoe that's been racking up the goals. And Banana Peels, he might just be stuck as the assister. He doesn't, scoring might not be his forte, but what it is being a team player and getting those passes in and allowing Tartarus to go 2-1 up in the game, and also possibly 3-1 in the series. But we have 2 minutes left for Bing to decide if that's how they want to end it. But Bing definitely doing whatever they can to get a next goal in the 2 minutes, because if they don't, it's do or die.
Yeah, that goal could be the final nail in the coffin for Bing, but they just have to show the guile that they know it is. And Sabinix looking to try and get that equalizer. It might come out to Crafty Mouse here, push it forward. Sabinix will turn on it and get it back onto the backboard. Sneaking Shoe doesn't look very confident with this one, but Archangel will get the 50. Only as far as Crafty Mouse. Is this one in? No, it's off the post. Sneaking Shoe can't get there. Sabinix looks to fake them out, but Sneaking Shoe is equal to it anyway. Endrick now, his turn to shine. Can he get it in? It's an own goal from Tartarus. It's disaster, and Bing have an equalizer.
Endrick planned this. He banged it into Sneaking Shoe. That was a team play, and Endrick used the power of his surroundings and his awareness to find that out. This is not a jammy goal. This is completely calculated. This is what you see in Prospect. They have really, really large brains and very good mechanical ability, but they can do very unpredictable things, and nobody would have expected that to happen. But Big are back into this with a little bit over a minute remaining. It's going to be very close per minute time, but who's going to break the deadlock?
And it could be a cathartic moment in this series, because you feel that could be a real morale dampener for Tartarus, knowing that they were just a minute and a half or so away from getting into playoffs. But now they have to find another goal, and they're going to have to do more defending as well, because Bing know how much that could have affected their mentality. It's dropping in the middle. Surely this one's going in. Crafty Mouse is there, and Bing are turning it around. No one from Tartarus is willing to get up to this one, and Crafty Mouse is left all by himself to start at home and get the lead back for Bing for the first time in a very, very long time.
Oh boy, yeah, that's absolutely great amount of time. Tartarus would probably just been trying to be in cruise control, like feeling out the game, riding it out to the end, but Bing had other ideas, and it is not ideal for Tartarus at the moment, especially having to be back on the lower end, back foot, if you will. Maybe a repeat of game 1 as Bing are winning 3-2. This is not ideal at all for the team. Archangel trying to do his best to get a clearance, passes it out to Endrick. Might be another chance for Bing to go. Crafty Mouse slots it in. Zigishu getting a very valuable save. Can they do a counter-attack? They have 15 seconds left. Crafty Mouse trying to try to challenge. Sabinix goes in front of him. And there is Endrick going on the wall. I'm just spacious at the moment. There's anything can really happen. Tartarus are going to go for another attack. It's going to get bumped up in the air. Could be anyone's. Crafty Mouse just going to touch. Archangel can get this. He cannot actually get this. I completely lied. I apologize for that. But it does look like it's going to be a game 5.
And it's so solid from Bing to get us into our first game 5 of the play-ins here. As that game control in the last few seconds was really, really nice. They weren't backing off. They were keeping Tartarus penned in a position where if they had conceded, it could have been disaster for them. But no, they keep it strong, and they got that comeback as well. You have to remember, Tartarus, as I said, they were just a few minutes away from getting to the lower bracket. But we go into game 5. They came into this one knowing that Maurice was going to be the sub. They just feel more confident as a 3 here. It's their decision as a team. Maurice, we know his quality as a prospect player, but if they're feeling better as a 3 on the day, then you can't really fault them for it.
I guess so. I think I was just thinking that the substitute was being played for Tartarus, but I would never picture any of the Tartarus players at the moment to be considered as substitute, because all of them have been showing such great qualities and able to get this far as well. It's a huge deal that all players are absolutely cracked, and I know Maurice as well is also such a great quality player, getting to the grand finals last season. But at the moment, this new Tartarus side is absolutely needs to step up as well. As we have Sneaking Shoe almost getting a goal here, Endrick being able to want to save it. takes his time, gets past one, Sabinax tries to get in, decides to dip out and get back into defense to prepare for this goal. A little bit of a double commit here. Banana Pills is left on his own. Endrick trying to go for some sort of bump play. Not able to. However, we have the ball going in. Carthimas might be able to get it. There is a whiff, and that's not the nicest whiff to see. Especially in such a crucial game. This game decides who makes playoffs and who has to go home and not cry right after this. Because imagine getting this far into this where one game decides it and then not being able to come out on top. It must be so demoralizing, and I haven't been able to feel that this season since I was not able to even make playoffs, which is a bit even worse in my opinion. But getting this far and then having that feeling of defeat, no team has want that, and I think that's going to motivate them to do their absolute best in this last game.
Certainly has in this opening minute and a half. It's been action-packed despite being at 0-0. Both these teams wanting to get to that next level and push on to the playoffs, but you're going to have to do a lot of defending here. For the first 50 seconds, it was all Tartarus, but Bing have opened it up a little bit more since then. They've had a couple cracks at the other end, but Tartarus were also equal to what they had to offer, so we're going to need to see a moment of quality come out from one of these teams. Will it be Sneaking Shoe like as per usual? I think it might be. It's off the crossbar. Endrick again getting back to make the last-ditch effort. They've been having a lot of those go their way, and that just shows the recovery speed from Bing. They're always willing to try and race back to defend what Tartarus are offering, and it means they're rewarded as we trickle across that halfway line. It will stay 0-0, and the moment Bing having possession, they're looking to get the first goal of this match, and you really feel the first goal could be all important because we've seen a lot of nerves come out in this game number 5. There have been a few shots going askew, but whoever gets a solid one on target first could be the one heading to that lower bracket.
Does not feel the best. Does not feel the best at all for teams. However, you just have to take into consideration that this is probably the most nervous any of these players have ever been. If I was in the situation, I would be super nervous as well that this one game can decide who's going off to playoffs. But nice fake there from Endrick. Goes up in the air, tries to get a bumping play. Not able to. Endrick, that might have gone in. We don't know. We'll never know. But that could have been a missed opportunity. Archangel, 0 boost, tries to get some sort of shots in. Sneaking Shoe hits it. Endrick goes a bit over Carthimas. Might have been a bit of a dangerous clearance there if there's no communication in that backline. If Bing's backline brought absolute chaos, in my opinion. Because lots of panicking is happening. I'm also panicking as well. I genuinely cannot tell who's going to be the first one to score by an amount of time. I want to say it's going to be Tartarus, but then as soon as I say that, it's going to be Bing to score. So I genuinely think that it's going to be, let's say, in overtime.
We could be going to a 0-0 overtime at this rate, yeah. And I do have to agree that the chaos has been coming out from the Bing defense for a lot of this series, but somehow they just seem to find a way a lot of the time. Yes, they've lost 2 games, but the 2 games they won, there's definitely been some of that chaotic defending, and it's worked out for them, so they'll have to hope it continues on here. At the moment, they're on the offense. Crafty Mouse is there, looking to get on the end of Sabinex's cross into the middle, but Tartarus again now go on the counter after picking up that save. Endrick tries to play it out. Banana Peels comes away with the demo instead of the ball, means Crafty Mouse picks it up. Sabinex's looking for a demo, I think that was. No, it was Endrick, and Sabinex's picks it up in their own half. It's dropping in the middle nicely here. Someone there, Endrick is. The post meets him though, and now Sneaking Shoe is the last man back. Buys his team so much time and allows him to go on the offense once more. So end-to-end at the moment. 30 seconds left, and 1 goal could be all that takes it. Endrick looking to get it. Has only found the corner with this one. Sneaking Shoe will clear it out. It's not a very good clear though, as Sabinex is right on top of that one. It's not going to come off to much though, as Banana Peels can push it out again though. The clear struggling to breach the halfway line from Tartarus. The midfield control well and truly showing from Bing. Is this the moment? It's in the middle, but Banana Peels flaws any attack that Bing had rolling there. And we will go into 0-0 overtime. This is it, Marbs. This is what it all comes down to. Who's going to have that clutch factor and find the winning goal to take them into the playoffs?
What better time to have an overtime than a series like this, where it's scoreless game in Game 5. And the next goal here really decides the futures. And it does look like it's going to be Crafty Mouse getting that goal. We completely read that so fast. I was so scared. This would have been so risky because all 3 big players are up. I was like, probably they bet all on black and they actually won it out. And this is the risk you have to take to be able to advance in these playoffs. They completely probably shocked all of us here with such an early overtime goal. I thought this overtime was at least play out to be over, at least over a minute, but no, Bing wanted it so bad, and Ender getting the MVP, and that's without any goals or assists. That just shows how defensive Bing had to be for this whole entire 5 minutes of the beginning of the game, all to probably just charge out and go full out. Because I genuinely believe by man time, all three of them were up there. If they missed that, it would have been Tartarus for the taking because there was no one back.
Hello everyone and welcome back one last time to the RSC EU Season 8 Prospect play-ins. This will be your final match. After today we've already seen Hot Metal sweep Exelon and Bing take down Tartarus in 5 to claim their spots, but that earlier win from Hot Metal means that they now get to play Oberon in this second play-in final to get that last spot in the playoffs, and with me for it once again is Morbs.
Oh my man, we just saw an amazing Game 5 overtime. And now we're about to see another, I think, two also similarly stacked teams. Oberon and Hot Metal are very, very good contenders. And this it still is cross-conference match. It's, we have not really seen these two teams play each other before. And that brings a lot more unpredictability than we ever had. And it's do or die in this situation. The winner makes playoffs, and you just have to hope that I want both these teams to make it, but unfortunately that's not the case. We have to be eliminating at least one more team today and have one more team advance. And I'm just so nervous to see who is going to be, but I'm also excited at the same time.
Yeah, and talking about who's going to go through here, the big favourites are Oberon, just because of how close they were to finishing second and how much form they come into this match on. They were 11 matches unbeaten in league play. With that win over Fearless Bravo, they're now 12 matches unbeaten, so they're certainly coming in on plenty of form, and Buckets is the top scorer in Prospect. So Hot Metal, yes, they're a strong team, but this might be their toughest challenge yet, because Oberon, Buddha had them going all the way to win Prospect, so this is going to be no easy feat if Hot Metal are to advance to that lower bracket.
Absolutely, but you just have to also say that Hot Metal, they 3-0'd Exelon, who are, I think, they're quite favorites, in a win against Archeon's team is a win in my book, in my opinion. No shade, but it is quite a big achievement if you completely wipe out one of Archeon's teams, because Archeon is very notorious for making super mighty strong teams, and it just shows that Hot Metal here are not to mess around. Deadfang, Melty Crispy, and Xiv, whatever we'll pronounce it as, but I know Deadfang, another Belgian, very, very talented player, as well as Melty Crispy, a German, and it just shows that these...
What? You should just call Melty Crispy German.
I absolutely think Melty Crispy is German. I might have got it mixed up.
He's Irish.
Melty Crispy, if you're watching this, I can sincerely apologize, but...
He's like the most Irish man I've ever met in RSC.
I might have gotten mistaken with someone else, but anyways, I hope I definitely got Deadfang's nationality right. But we look on Luna Esports side, Zyro, and Buckets. Okay, Buckets is the name that stands out for me. Buckets is absolutely, I think, one of the most talented players in the conference, in my opinion. He's so clinical in finishes, and also Zyro as well. Very good second man, in my opinion. And I believe that's Oberon. I actually can agree with Buddha. Low Peep FC, we've not really seen him play this season, but if they do have such a good record, 46 and 26 in league play, it just definitely comes to show that these people are not here to mess around. They're here to take this game, but I just cannot wait to see how these two teams match up against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about Buckets and his incredible record this season, top goals and top shots in Prospect, but he's a man with a lot of experience in RSC as well. He's been here since Season 5 and has stayed on this same franchise through all of the rebrands, from Reliable Family Car to Static Caravan Buyer, and now to Luna Esports on this Oberon side. This might be his best crack at the trophy yet, because they're looking really, really good, and that they will be able to challenge from this lower bracket. Previously he's had difficulties in playoffs, but with Zyro and Little Pete, they've looked like a totally different beast, and you really feel it could be a long night for Hot Metal here, because Oberon are going to come at them swinging full force. You know, last series against Fearless Bravo, they brought in Ice for the third game, and they still managed to win it. They're not going to be able to afford that sort of substitution against Hot Metal. They're going to have to bring everything that they can, and it's certainly a mighty opponent. We've seen it all throughout the season. 11 matches, no, 12 matches unbeaten is an incredible record, an incredible form to be on. So they have to be the favourites, and I will still stick with my prediction that they will be the ones to beat Hot Metal and go through. I think I said in 4.
I guess so, but I guess I'm always going to have to disagree with you about mine 10. I'm going for Hot Metal because I believe anyone that can beat Archeon's team can go all the way. And even though Buckets is super, super talented, the goals he scores are amazing. I do think that Hot Metal have a bit more of like a team. I think they spread out the work a lot. So I think Buckets might be a bit of a carry, in my opinion. But I might be completely proven wrong, and I kind of look forward to see if I'm right or not.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think Melty Crispy might be the only Irishman left in Prospect. I haven't fully checked every single team, but you know, there's not many of us in the league, so I hope that he can go far, of course. You know, Oberon, it's going to be a great matchup, but Marvs, have you told him to join yet? Because I still cannot, because I'm on PS4. I think we're ready to get into this one, don't you agree?
I can't wait anymore. I will absolutely go insane if I wait anymore, and
raring to go.
Oh, they are in. We are all ready. Players are in the lobby, and I am excited to see the first game, and hopefully we see another game 5. Hopefully we have as much of an adrenaline rush as we saw last series, What Matters 10, where we're being barely edged it out over Tartarus.
Yeah, absolutely. One place in the lower bracket has been claimed. Who will get the second one? Oberon versus Hot Metal. This to determine it, and already Oberon showing their ball control in the midfield as Zyro brings it forward, but Hot Metal are going to be going toe-to-toe, punch-to-punch as they fight them out in the midfield in this opening 30 seconds. A couple of whiffs comes out of Zyro. Should have done better with that one as he skives it high, but Melty Crispy's completely missed this one. You cannot afford to make misses like that when Buckets is lurking, because he's always going to smash those home, and he absolutely does so here as he finds the bottom corner and gets the 1-0 lead for Oberon.
Buckets showing how clinical he is. Whether it's a league play game or a super important playoff game, this person does not flinch. He will score, and I would back Buckets to score in any situation possible. If he's probably the most likely to score out of anyone here, and it obviously has to be the man himself. But the team in orange, Deadfang at the moment in defense, is going to get a nice stop after getting demoed. Another demo coming out. The orange team is now singled down to one player, but they both respond. The pressure is now, I think, leveled a bit. At the moment, we have Buckets waiting. Oh, no, a bit of a whiff. He gets over I'm going to call him Xiev, because XIEV sounds way too long to say.
I think I'm going to go with Z if I've heard other people call him, so Zeev is what I'm going with, but you know, hasn't had the opportunity to do so much yet. Remember, we're only a minute and a half into this whole series, so 1-goal lead, yes, for Oberon, they're looking good, but Hot Metal should have time to come back into this. They haven't really offered much on the offense. I saw Deadfang going for a bump at one point, but I haven't really seen much of their game plan or how they're going to try and break down this Oberon side, because you know they have been dominating the proceedings so far and not allowed Hot Metal to come forward. This one almost creeps its way in, but Lil Peep will hold strong on the back line, but you're going to have to do some more. Double commit comes out, might allow some space in the middle. For Hot Metal as Eve will pick it up, but Oberon already all back in defense, and they're just so quick to get into position. This is really a top prospect side when they're so quick at defending and finding their roles within their own half.
Really is. Buckets utilizing the Dingo. Might go for another shot. Oh no. I think SNN Peep was not able to receive the pass correctly. And now we have Ziev. I like to call him Ziev. That sounds a bit Ukrainian, a bit more of a exotic player. He might have a bit of an exotic playstyle as well, but he is not really. We haven't seen much of him yet. Cannot wait to see more of him later on. Deadfang goes up, tries to get the ball censored. Buckets gets to get a touch, passes it over to Zyro. Zyro's up in the air, gets a second touch as well. It's up in the air. Can he get another one? No, he cannot. Gets challenged by Melty Crispy. Deadfang does have a shot. This gives a bit of a weak one. Passes it over to Ziev. Melty Crispy takes it from here. Tries to get it into the center. Does. Is popped away by Peep. Zyro's in the air. Does get a touch. Ziev going to keep it in their half. Might go for a shot here. Does get off the board. Peep in a bit of awkward position. Is able to clear it. Zyro touches it. Not the best touch he wants. It definitely might be able to get a good center. SNM Peep does get a clearance. Ziev wants to get it away. Does not want the ball to go into his half. Deadfang was going to touch the ball here. Sort of gets a ghost hit, you can say. Multi Crispy pushes it up forward. It is up in the air. Zyro does get a clearance. Zev is able to take it. Can he get a good turn to SNP? Does beat him to the ball. Deadfang keeps up. The pressure brought on by the orange team is very good, but unfortunately they're not really making anything of it so far. They're just making chances, haven't really gotten to good shots either. All of it are cleared away quite easily, but you just have to give it to them. The pressure has finally been broken as a big clearance was made, but that was a really intense, I would like to say a solid minute of offensive pressure coming in from Oberon. Not Oberon. Coming in, coming in from Continental. My apologies.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you on that front where, you know, it's such a great passage of play for them where they're keeping Oberon so far penned into their own half, but they just don't create anything clearly opening up. And that really, you know, brings concern, because if you're having that much field domination and you're not getting any sort of, you know, troubling shot on target, then Oberon are always going to have chances to get on the counter and establish their own offense once more, and Melty Crispy, again, is just not looking so confident on the defense. First goal, he didn't do too well, and in this one, he's last back. You just have to have more composure in situations like these, because Oberon, again, this time it's Zyro. They've always got someone waiting to pounce on errors like that, and Oberon, fair play to them. They've done really strong in the defense here, didn't allow anything to open up for Hot Metal, and they've certainly got the reward for it. With only 30 seconds left, they're looking to get their series off to a game 1 lead.
Absolutely agree. It does not look the best at the moment. This game might be put to bed. Some shot coming out there. And Multi Crispy trying to redeem himself for a couple of his defensive mistakes. Might get a good touch here. Might get a good cut. Does whatever he can to try to put the ball back into the middle. Zyro does get a good clearance. Zyro has, I think, improved a lot as well. I believe he was also in the Lunar organization last season when they were SCB Esports. And he did do quite well for them. He was previously, I think, hopped a couple teams, but found his place, and he has kept in the franchise, been as quite loyal, similar to Buckets as well. Both very loyal to the GM of Louis, and Oberon are going to be taking this game 1.
Yeah, they control it pretty comfortably in the end, and that's due to Hot Metal's lack of fluidity in the final third. You know, they're doing so well on that midfield line to keep Oberon penned in, but Oberon just soak up all of that pressure. Maybe a situation we're not used to seeing them in. Used to seeing them dominating more, as they did against Fearless Bravo, but against a different opponent, they're certainly able to adapt in this game number 1, and they're showing that no matter what's thrown at them, they're going to be able to deal with it. Zyro and Buckets the ones getting the goals, and they haven't really looked troubled yet so far.
Seed. That's what they have to work on. We're going to see if they're going to learn that lesson into this one.
We will indeed, and already Hot Metal trying to re-establish that pressure and get their first goal of the series, but again, Oberon proving equal to it. They get a good 50 off of Deadfang here. It's up and over to the other side to safety, but Melty Crispy picks it up, looks for the touch into the middle, but can't quite find it. Is always searching for that one, and Zyro instead leaves it off for Buckets. Deadfang, good interception in the middle, but can't find the dunk on Zyro. Means it's up for Buckets. He looks for the angle. The crossbar is what he finds, though, and Zyro isn't ready to go for this one. He actually will get there first, though, because Deadfang has no boost. The boost control lacking from Hot Metal. Somehow they don't concede from it, though, as it comes off the crossbar, and Zeev is there, and now the counter-attack is on. Deadfang scores their first goal, gets their first lead, and somehow Hot Metal have stormed into this one against Oberon.
What an interesting... That's what happens, I think. Similar to Bing, they put all their players forward in the overtime to be able to get that goal, but if they miss like they did here, that would have been an instant goal for the other team, and that's exactly it. It's repeated here, but repeated with a different outcome, to where this is what happens when you have 3 players up and you don't score, and you completely get the counter-attack on. Deadfang had probably the easiest shot possible, and it really gave a confidence booster to Hot Metal, and that's not what you want if you're Billy. You want your opponents to be afraid in all times. You want them to lose confidence, as demoral as it sounds. That's what you have to do to be able to get these wins in the playoffs.
At the moment, Oberon is showing no lack of confidence, because despite Lil Peep having left the lobby, Buckets and Zyro were just carrying on as if this was a normal match. So a very unfortunate circumstance here where they're having to play a 2v3, but they've taken that first deficit and realized that they do need to switch it on. They cannot be lacking on the defense, and they're really going toe-to-toe with Hot Metal at the moment. It's incredible to see, that's just how strong Oberon is, and they've held out long enough for Lil Peep to get back into it, so Hot Metal failed to make the most of that opportunity, and the one goal will have to do for now.
I did not notice that. I didn't even notice that he lost the match. Because they were absolutely so well. You couldn't really tell that they were like under any pressure. They were probably on the offensive in that 2v2. But anyways, Lil Peep is back. He's arisen, he has returned, and makes it a 3-3 match, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how Hot Metal were not able to capitalize on this situation, but that does happen. Peeps does have some ping issues at the moment. He might be having a server reset. A bit unfortunate, but Oberon's still in an only 1 goal deficit, a bit more than half the game remaining. Zyro trying to get up into the air, takes his time, does get a beautiful center for buckets. He gets a bit over not being as clinical. Peep, no, that's not how you finish the game. Not finish the game, that's not how you tie it up. That's not how you get through this game. It's not how you get into playoffs. You need to be more clinical with these shots. Buckets needs to be the one to teach the team how to do it. Zyro, unfortunate, I guess you can call that a whiff, passes it up to Peep. Peep gets it off the backboard. Belty Crispy is able to get a clearance. We have 2 minutes left for our of time. It does look like Ziev and Belty Crispy are the defensive masterminds at the moment. Ziev at the moment getting 2 saves, top of the leaderboard for his team, most points in the lobby as a defender, not really as a clinical finisher. And he is a clinical finisher. What am I talking about? Whenever I say just the other thing happens, the caster curse, yeah, yada yada. Of course, always caster curse me, but Bormanotan is apparently immune to these kinds of things. But I'm very happy to see Zia get a goal for himself.
Yeah, and a couple of times now we've seen teams soak up pressure and then just go on the counter-attack immediately. Again, it proves the case here is Oberon were really coming forward strong, but anything that they had to offer was either going onto the woodwork or Hot Metal were equal to it and got it clear. And again, just struggling now in the final third, when in the first game it looked like they were a lot more confident with what they were doing going forward. Now nothing's really coming off, and of course as soon as I say that, I take up the caster curse mantle and something incredible comes out of Oberon as Zyro and Buckets combine for an incredible shot on net, and there's no way anyone from Hot Metal is saving that one.
This is Prospect, by the way. I am lost for words, but that was probably the best caster curse goal I've ever seen, because no one would have expected that to happen. I saw both of them go up. I was like, oh, double commit. Oh, that's not good. Wait, it's a pinch, and then I got complete shock, in my opinion. Instant favorite goal of today, to be honest, of this game, of this series, of everything. Especially in Prospect, having some sort of aerial concoction like that, especially go in with that speed, really makes you think how well these players are playing, especially under this kind of pressure. With 52 seconds remaining, we have S&M Peep maybe going for a little bit of a fake. However, we do have a bit of a weird, all these players are in the same corner. A typical weird rotational mistake that you see. We have S&M Peep seeing a breakaway. Can Zeev get to it in time? He does get to it in time. Defends his lead with all he can. Gets a little bit of bump on Zyro. Can Buckets be as clinical as he can? He does get the ball in the air. Someone up in the air. Zyro is up. What? Zyro did not expect. I thought that was supposed to be a miscommit. And unfortunately, does not look at that. Things gets it. He gets it. He extends his lead. He prevents Oberon from taking it. And that absolutely scared me, because Zyro, I thought he had the angle. He went for that risk. Oberon consistently going for the risks and then getting bit in the butts on the counter attacks. That's not the best way to concede, but it's a conceding goal nonetheless. It looks like they're not going to be taking this game.
Yeah, Hot Metal have equaled it up, and that is definitely down to their iron hard defense. They are from the Forge franchise. Clearly, there's some sort of connection there to be made, but they've been really well with their aggressive positioning on that first man when Oberon are coming forward. They're always willing to push someone forward and make Oberon maybe panic a bit more, because every time Oberon come forward, they're worried about what Hot Metal are going to be doing on the defense. They're not able to play as freely as they would like to, and it means that they keep getting countered on, and Hot Metal just keep scoring from those. You know, the first goal of the game, Deadfang, it's an open net, yes, but we saw it yesterday from Fearless Shades, where it's so easy to choke in those situations and throw away chances for your team, but that's not the sort of team Hot Metal is. They're here to play, they're here to score what they need to score, and they've punished Oberon for it. We go into Game 3 at 1-1.
Cannot believe that a goal, new clean slate for both these teams at the moment. It's 1-1. Who's going to be the next one to take it?
We will soon find out as we have kicked off here. Another 5 minutes on the clock. Can Oberon find their attacking form once more? Will Hot Metal continue to hold out and get the counters on? Looking to do so here. Zyro's the only one back. Zeev looks for the angle, but cannot cherry pick Melty Crispy's pass. It means that Deadfang has to track back. Picks up this one in the midfield. Tries to beat Zyro. Zyro is better though. Mixed Zeev. Panic, but Melty Crispy comes into cover for Zeev and gets a great clear off of Zyro's attack. And once again, Hot Metal proving to be so strong in defense. Every time Oberon come forward, they have someone ready, and once again, it proves to be the case as Deadfang gets it down the pitch in Marbs. Oberon are really struggling in the final third.
Indeed, but there's no goals being scored yet, which is something to keep note of. I think both players, they have taken his time, I think chewing a bit of the clock, I guess. Bringing it all the way back to his half of the bringing it over his goal. A bit of a risky play, but he is able to get that ball cleared safely after Melty Crispy gets to get a touch, but actually not as safe. It is a bit more safe now. SNMP hits the ball up in the air. Zyro's peaking is going up. Zyro is actually peaking, which I think is interesting, because his name, I guess, just says it is, but I usually think that whatever your name says, it's usually the opposite.
Could be the case there, but no, it was Zeev looking to peak as he keeps going for these crazy redirects. Can't get that one either, so might be only a matter of time before Oberon give up enough space for him to find that angle, but not to be just yet. And Melty Crispy couldn't find the back of the net either as he smashed the post. So means Oberon go back on the offense. Yet to really see them shine truly in this series. They haven't hit their final form or that top gear, and again, it cannot happen for them. Buckets hits the post. Lil Peep has to do better with that one, but they do well this time to track back on defense at least, because Lil Peep is playing the time to deal with this one. But they just have to improve. They have to do better. This is Prospect. If you keep wasting chances like that, yes, it's the bottom of the league, but Hot Metal are such a strong team that they will keep getting the counters. They will keep making the most of what Oberon give up. And again, they're looking to get the lead here. Melty Crispy going for it, looking for the final touch, but Lil Peep has to hold strong. Does so. Hot Metal come again, but Zahu hits this one up. Maybe interesting for Hot Metal, but Deadfang can't make anything of it. So the defense is proving to be the better of the offenses in this one, because nothing is breaking through for either team.
Yes, so it's a very stressful situation for both these teams. I can definitely tell. They're so equally matched, but at the same time, they both know they're just waiting for the next one to crack, and it's about who can really put up the most confidence, show the most attacking power, and not make the least amount of mistakes. I'm sorry, I'm also anxious as well, which I find really interesting because I don't really have any affiliation with these teams, but just watching them play, I can always, I think, still have some empathy, just like think about how they're feeling right now, because I've been in this situation before where playoffs can really make you not play your best and really make you play super nervous, and both these players are doing really well, especially getting these types of goals. They're always trying to capitalize on mistakes, but at the same time they are going for aerial plays. They are being a bit ballsy, I think. They are going for risky plays, and I believe that it's just the next person to take the biggest risk. Just like Zyro has right now, Zyro is officially peaking. Next person to take the risk and really go for it is going to be the one to score. As we see basically all three players are up in that half. Pete was not able to get back inside before Zyro pushed up, but Zyro went for it. He took the risk with a bit over 90 seconds remaining. Might be the one might be the goal to take them for this game and get them 2 up in the series.
Might be another for them here as the Hot Metal defense, after holding strong for so long, looking to fall apart now, because that first goal, only Zeev was left to get back for it. Went for the early cut on the ball to try and intercept it, but Zyro was aware of that and just got it behind him where neither teammate was waiting in behind Zeev. So they've got to make sure they keep up this defensive structure. Doesn't matter if you hold out for 3 minutes, if you just fall apart at the last moment. So they've got to keep it strong. They've got to keep their heads up and always remember how strong Oberon can be. They've scored so many goals. Buckets, remember, the top scorer in Prospect. So keeping it at 1 is good. They've got a minute left to get back into it, and they will do so. Melty Crispy picks up Deadfang's pass, and all of a sudden, they've equalised.
Indeed, my man. That is going to throw a whole wrench to Oberon's plan. 1-1, essentially 1 minute remaining. 1-1 in the series as well. This is I think whoever scores this is going to have the next goal. It's going to have the advantage. They're going to have the confidence. They're going to have the morale, and it's going to be very hard for the team that conceded that goal to bring that back up, because they know after this, whoever loses this game is going to be on match point, and then after that, it's going to be do or die, as we said before. That's not ideal for either team to be the one to be on match point, because then you have everything against you. You lose the series, you're out. There's no more. You need to be able to make playoffs, and these are the last two teams. Only one of these teams can make playoffs. The other one has to go home and feel really bad, but then come for revenge the next season. But that's not until later. We have Deadfang playing a nice shot, not really a pass. Goal being saved. Buckets hasn't been really scoring as much as we thought. Thus now he can get to it, but Deadfang does come in for the clutch save. As pass coming out from Zyra, can Peep get it? Oh, he gets a save from Ziev. Ziev, the very last second, gets a save, saving that shot, keeping Hot Metal in this one. And now we're having an overtime, and this is going to be a very intense overtime. Not even a Game 5 overtime, but still a very intense and crucial overtime, regardless.
Absolutely. Going to be a really, really important one, as you say. This goal means everything for these two teams. These playoff matches mean so much to these players, but they have to play up to it. They have to play with the nerves. Oberon looking to take the advantage, but again, Hot Metal will hold firm as they try to play out of the defense, but they're caught back again. Oberon's midfield pressure proving to be too much for them at the moment as they cannot break past that halfway line. Buckets pushes it back in once more. Lil Peep waiting to see what Deadfang will do with this one. Counters him out perfectly, might be on target, but was looking for the post and Melty Crispy had to save anyway. Looks for the ambitious redirect, has it on target. Buckets, it's back in time. These teams throwing everything at each other. They're having to be so alert in everything that they do. But we stay at 1-1. No goal found yet in the overtime as we tick over that 1 minute mark.
A minute 10, 1 minute into the overtime. There's so many ones in this series, this game. Everything's a one for some reason. But now, Melty Crispy makes it 2. And Hot Metal are now 2-1 up in the series. It's not 1-2 for everything, and that's absolutely amazing to see. Melty Crispy going in. He has the speed, he beats Buckets out, and he gets that goal. A very, very great momentum booster for Hot Metal. Oberon will be not happy at all. This might be the crumble of Oberon. This might be the advancement, the prosperity of Hot Metal coming in as we look at the score of Melty Crispy with 600 points, 7 shots to his name. It's absolutely insane, but Oberon as well with 6. But the least amount of points for Oberon has 6 shots. But the clinicalness, the clinicality, if that's even a word, of Oberon is not ideal at all. A player has 0 goals and 6 shots. That's really not a good statistic to see, but you have to give it to Hot Metal. They were the most clinical in this game. They stepped up when needed, and that is something to really take into account. Even though they had almost an equal amount of shots, the Hot Metal were a bit more clinical with them. I genuinely believe that might have been the case. Bucket's also changing car as well. Bucket's changing to an Octane, no longer the Dingo, but Melty Crispy says that doesn't even matter. You can give me whatever car you want, but he's still going to find a way to score. Yeah, because a really nice pinchy pass into it, and they were not able to get the best touch on it, allowing Melty Crispy to just push that ball past him.
Melty Crispy proving to be the final third 50 master at the moment because he got the winning goal, very similar to that one in the last game, and now he's got the equaliser again there, where Zyra was maybe panicking a bit on defense, not looking at all as confident as Hot Metal have. So only 30 seconds into this one and we've already found the 2 goals to open it up, so might be a really open game in this one after we've seen the defenses maybe shine more than the offenses so far this series. This might be where it turns around, but Melty Crispy trying to show that that's not the case and that Hot Metal are still very much competent on their own half, but playing out to their other half. Now I bet me a bump on SMP, and what a play this is from Hot Metal. They're firing on all cylinders now. Perfect from Melty Crispy. Leaves it to be so easy for Deadfang, and this has to be tilting for Oberon.
Oh, imagine thinking you're going to get the save. You're going to go for the save. You got this. And then, out of nowhere, you see Melty Crispy on the left of your screen. Goes in for a bump on you. You're unable to save the ball. Super unfortunate for the man himself. But That's what you have to live with Rocket League. Speed might try to get a vengeance goal for that bump, but this actually might go to the other side in the favor of Hot Metal. Ziev taking a shot, might get it past Zyro. Does not. Zyro just get the safe bucket score, trying to go for a clear. Does get a nice pinch. Might be able to get a second touch. Does not. Deadfang able to beat in, keeps the ball in that half. The ball's up in the air. Melter Crispy gonna go down, tries to get sort of 50. Oh my, that was very close, very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable for the team in blue trying to defend that. They were not able to get any touch on that. The speed on that pinch was quite insane, especially in this level.
Yeah, and you can really feel the tempo start to rise, because these teams may be finally realizing what this match means, and they're trying to throw everything they have at them. Maybe they've been a little bit more calm and collected previously, but now the offense from Hot Metal is really trying to shine, and Oberon are having to do everything at the moment to counter that out. After coming in as the favourites, predicting them to go all the way, they're a favourite in this prospect team to do well in the lower bracket, but they haven't even got there yet. They still have a massive mountain to climb in the form of Hot Metal, so they've got to keep it up. They've got to keep trying and make sure that the speed does keep up, because Hot Metal is just keeping them in at the moment. Melty Crispy goes again, and they look so dangerous every time they come forward. Zeev has it up in the air for Deadfang. Can he get there first? Zyred as well to react and get it away for buckets on the right-hand side.
Oh boy, there's still more than half the game remaining, but it does look like Hot Metal are taking all the advantages they can. They're all taking all the chances they can. But Lil Pete might have something to say about it, but he does not able to get that Ziev, and again, there for the clutch up plays, in my opinion. But Buckets needs to be getting more goals. He can be more clinical. We've seen him be so clinical this whole entire season, but the moment they needed him the most, he vanished. And unfortunately, that's the case here, as we have at least pressure. Pressure is on the orange side. Bucket's trying to do whatever he can to try to clear it. They're trying to get some sort of challenge in. A bit of two players in the blue corner that are on the Hot Metal side. Very confusing plays. Zyro might be able to get a redirect. That would have been super clinical if they were able to get that, but a crucial chance absolutely missed. Ziev does get a hit. Melty Crispy pre-jumped way too early, allowing Zyro to get a shot on. Never mind, not really a shot. I guess you can call that a pass if he does get one. Peep trying to go in as well. It gets bumped mid-air by Ziev. Melty Crispy going again, he's panicking a little bit. You can see he's challenging a bit early, trying to get every single ounce of time he can, but he's not able to get any touches on the ball that are that crucial in defending. And it does show that this game is, even though there's a 1-goal deficit, it really does look like it's so tied at the moment. They're so equally matched, and this might go right down to the wire.
And the difference is that Hot Metal are, they're 1 minute away from the lower bracket. All they do have to do is hold out, so the panic is going to well and truly set in for them now, as they know how close they are to it and how much Oberon can still offer, but they've put up with everything that's been thrown at them so far. Only a minute left to go, but Zyro will come forward once more. Oberon, they do not want to go down without a fight. They want that game 5 and to take their chance in the lower bracket, but Hot Metal doing everything on the defensive end. 40 seconds left. Melty Crispy can't get there first. Zyro has it in the middle. Deadfang is the wrong way round. Little people keep it alive, dropping in the middle. Team bumps coming out from Hot Metal. Zyro is there, but it's under the crossbar. Come on, Oberon. You've been doing so well all season. We keep talking about it, but they've lost their offensive form at the wrong moment. Now Melty Crispy goes all the way up the other end, and Zeev wastes even more time off the clock by taking it away from Little Pete. Has to get it back past the buckets to bring it forward. Looks to beat Deadfang, cannot do so. 16 seconds left for Oberon's season. Hopes to stay alive. Buckets has got no boost. He's searching forward. Zyro going for the bump. Buckets tries to take it around one. SNF people have to take it alive. Deadfang and Zeev bumping each other. Zyro, there he is. Can SNF get there? No. Hot Metal close it out. It'll not quite hit the ground. Can Deadfang make it hit there? It does indeed. And Hot Metal get it in 4. Incredible stuff from them. Such a good defense they're showing, and they performed on the other end when they needed to. Oberon's hopes are over. After they were predicted to go so far, they've fallen at the play-in final. And what an intense series once more. These prospect teams so want to win these playoffs, and the quality we're seeing come out is just unbelievable.
Absolutely, 1 out of 10. I think this is all because of Buddha predicting Oberon to go through and make the lower bracket 1. Or you can say that it's all because of
I hope you know that you are on my mind. Promise I'ma waste no time. Got down but now I climb. Said I wouldn't make it, feeling so lost. I feel caught up in the matrix. Have to keep waiting.